It wasn't the fog I minded, Kathleen. I really love fog.
They say it's good for the complexion.
Hides you from the world and the world from you. You feel as if everything's changed and nothing's what it seemed to be and nobody can find you or touch you anymore.
I wouldn't care so much if Smythe was a fine, handsome man like some chauffeurs I've seen. I mean, if it was all in fun, for I'm a decent girl, but for a shriveled runt like Smythe, I've told him you must think I'm hard up that I'd notice a monkey like you. I've warned him one day I'll give a clout that'll knock him into next week, and so I will.
It's the fog horn I hate. Won't let you alone. It keeps reminding you and warning you and calling you back. Oh, well, it can't tonight. It's just an ugly sound that doesn't remind me of anything. Except perhaps Mr. Tyrone's snores. I've always had such fun teasing him about it. He's snored ever since I can remember, especially when he's had too much to drink, but he's like a child. He hates to admit it. Yeah, well, I suppose I snore sometimes, too, and I don't like to admit it, so I've got no right to make fun of him, have I?
Ah, sure. Everybody healthy snores. It's a sign of sanity, they say. What time is it, Mum? I ought to go back in the kitchen. The damp is in Bridget's rheumatism, and she's like a raging devil. She'll bite my head off.
No, don't go, Kathleen. I don't want to be alone.
You won't be for long. The master and the boys will be
I doubt
home
very much
soon.
that they'll come home for dinner. They have such a good excuse to remain in the bar rooms where they feel at home. Don't worry about Bridget. I'll tell her I kept you here with me. And you can take her a big drink of whiskey when you go. She won't mind then.
No, Ma'am, that's the one thing can make her cheerful. She loves her drop.
Have another drink yourself, Kathleen, if you wish.
Oh, I don't know if I'd better, Mum. I can feel what I've had already. Well, maybe one more won't harm. Here's your good health, Mum.
Ah, I really did have good health once, Kathleen. But that was long ago.
Oh, the master's sure to notice what's gone from the bottle. He has the eye of a hawk for that.
No, we'll play Jamie's trick on him. Just measure out a few drinks of water and pour them in.
God save me. It'll be half water. He'll know by the taste.
No, by the time he gets home, he'll be too drunk to notice the difference. He has such a good excuse, he believes, for drowning his sorrows.
Well, it's a good man's failing. I wouldn't give a trawneen for a teetotaler. They've no high spirits. Good excuse, Mum. You mean Master Edmund? I can tell the master's worried about him.
Don't be silly, Kathleen. Why should he be? A touch of the grip is nothing. And Mr. Tyrone's never worried about anything except money and property and the fear he'll end his days in poverty. I mean, deeply worried. For he really cannot understand anything else. He's a very peculiar man, Kathleen.
Well, he's a fine, handsome, kind gentleman, just the same, Mum. Never mind his weakness.
I don't mind. I've loved him dearly for 36 years. That proves I know he's lovable at heart and can't help being what he is, doesn't it?
That's right, Mum. Love him dearly, for any fool can see he worships the ground you walk on. Speaking of acting, Mum, how is it you never went on the stage?
I? What put that absurd notion in your head? I was brought up in a respectable home. Educated in the best convent in the Middle West. Before I met Mr. Tyrone, I hardly knew there was such a thing as a theater. I was a very pious girl. I even dreamed of becoming a nun. I never had the slightest desire to be an actress.
Well, I can't imagine you, a holy nun, Mum. Sure you never darkened the door of a church, God forgive you.
I've never felt at home in the theater. Even though Mr. Tyrone has made me go on all his tours with him, I've had little to do with the people in his company or anybody on the stage. Not that I have anything against them. They've always been kind to me and I to them, but I've never felt at home with them. Their life is not my life. It's always stood between me. Let's not talk of old things that couldn't be helped. How thick the fog is. I can't see the road. All the people in the world could go by and I wouldn't know it. I wish it was always that way. It's getting dark already. It'll be night soon, thank goodness. It was kind of you to keep me company this afternoon, Kathleen. I would have been lonesome going uptown all by myself.
Sure, wouldn't I rather ride in a fine automobile than stay here and listen to Bridget's lies about her relations? It was like a vacation, Mum. There was only one thing I didn't like.
What was that, Kathleen?
Oh, the way the man in the drugstore acted when I took in the prescription for you. The impudence of him.
What drugstore? What prescription? I forgot the medicine for the rheumatism in my hands. Well, what did the man say? Not that it matters as long as he filled the prescription.
Well, it mattered to me then. I'm not used to being treated like a thief. He gave me a long look and says, insultingly, where did you get hold of this? And I says, it's none of your damn business, but if you must know, it's for the lady I work for, Mrs. Tyrone, who's sitting out in the automobile. That shut him up quick. He gave a look out at you and said, oh, and went to get the medicine.
Yes, he knows me. Well, I have to take it, for there's no other that stops the pain. All the pain. I mean, in my hands. Poor hands. You never believe it, Kathleen, but they were once one of my good points. Along with my hair and my eyes. I had a fine figure, too. They were a musician's hands. Oh, I used to love the piano. I worked so hard on my music in the convent, if you can call it work, when you do something you love. Mother Elizabeth and my music teacher both said I had more talent than any student they could remember. My father paid for special lessons. He spoiled me. He would do anything I asked. He would have sent me to Europe to study after I graduated, and I might have gone if I hadn't fallen in love with Mr. Tyrone. Or I might have become a nun. I had two dreams. To be a nun. That was the more beautiful. And to be a concert pianist. That was the other. I haven't touched a piano for so many years. I couldn't play with these crippled fingers even if I wanted to. But for a time after my marriage, I tried to keep up my music. But it was hopeless. One night stands, always leaving children, never having a home. Oh, see, Kathleen, how ugly they are. So crippled and maimed, you'd think they've been through a horrible accident. Come to think of it, so they have. I won't look at them. They're worse than the foghorn for reminding. Even they can't touch me tonight. They're far away. I see them, but the pain is gone.
You've taken some of the medicine. It made you act funny, Mum. If I didn't know better, I'd think you'd a drop taken.
It kills the pain. You go back until at last you're beyond its reach, and only the past, when you were happy, is real. If you think Mr. Tyrone is handsome now, Kathleen, you should have seen him when I first met him. He had the reputation of being one of the best-looking men in the country. All the girls in the convent who'd seen him act or seen his picture used to rave about him. He was a great matinee idol, you know. Women used to stand outside the stage door just to see him come out. Oh, you can imagine how excited I was when my father wrote me that he and James Tyrone had become friends, and I was to meet him when I came home for Easter vacation. I showed the letter to all the girls, and how envious they were. My father took me to see him act first. There was a play about the French Revolution. The leading part was a nobleman. Oh, I couldn't keep my eyes off him. I wept when they threw him in prison, and then I was so mad because I was sure my eyes and my nose would be red. My father had said that we would go backstage right after the play to his dressing room, and so we did. I was so bashful, all I could do was stammer and blush like a little fool. But I guess he didn't think I was a little fool. I know he liked me from the moment we were introduced. I guess my eyes and my nose couldn't have been red after all. I was really very pretty then, Kathleen. And he was handsome beyond my wildest dreams, in his makeup and his nobleman's costume that was so becoming to him. Well, he was different from all ordinary men, like he came from another world. But at the same time, he was simple and kind and unassuming and not a bit vain or stuck up. I fell in love right then. So did he told me afterward, and I forgot all about becoming a nun or a concert pianist. All I wanted was to be his wife. 36 years ago, and I can see it as clearly as if it were tonight. And we have loved each other ever since. And in all those 36 years, Kathleen, there's never been a breath of scandal about him. I mean, with another woman, not since he met me. That has made me very happy, Kathleen. It's made me forgive so many other things.
He's a fine gentleman, and you're a lucky woman. Can I take the drink to Bridget now, Mum? It must be near dinner time, and I ought to be in the kitchen helping her. If she don't get something to quiet her temper, she'll be after me with the cleaver.
Yes, go. I don't need you now.
Thank you, Mum. You won't be alone long. The master and the boys will be home
No, they
soon.
won't come. Tell Bridget I won't wait. You can serve dinner promptly at 6:30. I'm not hungry, but I'll sit at the table. We'll get it over with.
Oh, you ought to eat something, Mum. It's a queer medicine if it takes away your appetite.
What medicine? I don't know what you're talking about. Take the drink to Bridget.
Yes, Mum.
Oh, you're a sentimental fool. What's so wonderful about the first meeting between a silly romantic schoolgirl and a matinee idol? You were happier before you knew he existed in a convent when you could pray to the Blessed Virgin. If I could only find the faith I lost so I could pray again. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. You expect the Blessed Virgin to be fooled by a lying dope fiend reciting words. You can't hide from her. Oh, I must go up. I haven't taken enough. When you start again, you never know exactly how much you need. That must be them. Well, now, why have they come back? They don't want to, and I'd much rather be alone. Oh, no, I'm so happy they've come. I've been so horribly lonely. I'm here, dear, in the living room. I've been waiting for you. Oh, I'm so happy you've come. I'd given up hope. I was afraid you wouldn't come home. Oh, it's such a dismal, foggy evening. It must be much more cheerful uptown in the barrooms where there are people you can talk and joke with. But don't deny it, dear. I know how you feel. I don't blame you a bit. You come and sit down. Dinner won't be ready for a minute yet. You're actually a little early. Well, wonders never cease. And here's the whiskey, dear. Shall I pour you a drink? And you, Edmund, I don't want to encourage you, but one as an appetizer can't do any harm. Where's Jamie? Oh, of course, he'll never come home as long as he has the price of a drink left. I'm afraid Jamie's been lost to us for a long time, dear. But we mustn't allow him to drag Edmund down with him, as he's like to do. He's jealous because Edmund's always been the baby, just as he used to be with Eugene. He'll never be content till he makes Edmund the hopeless failure he is.
Oh, will you please stop talking?
I think that the less you say right now, Mary,
It's hard for me to
is
believe, seeing
probably...
Jamie as he is now, that he was ever my baby. You remember, James, what a healthy, happy baby he was?
Sure.
You know, the one-night stands and the bad food, they never made him cross or sick. He was always laughing and smiling. He hardly ever cried. Eugene was the same, healthy and happy during the 2 years he lived before I let him die through my neglect.
For the love of God, I'm a fool to come home.
Papa, will you shut up?
It was Edmund who was a crosspatch when he was little, always getting upset and frightened about nothing at all. Everybody said, dear, you'd cry at the drop of a hat.
Maybe I guess it was a good reason not to laugh.
Now, lad, you know better than
Whoever
to
would
pay
have
any
believed
attention.
Jamie would grow up to disgrace us? Well, you remember, James, for years after he went to boarding school, we received such glowing reports. Everybody liked him. His teachers all told us what a fine brain he had and how easily he learned his lessons. Even after he began to drink and they had to expel him, they wrote us telling us how sorry they were because he was so likable and such a brilliant student. They all predicted a wonderful future for him if he could ever learn to take life seriously. Poor Jamie. It's a pity. It's hard to understand. No, it isn't. You brought him up to be a boozer. Ever since he first opened his eyes, he's watched you drinking all the
Why don't
time.
you shut up? You
That's
told
what
me not to
hell
pay any
no.
attention.
And whenever he woke up with a nightmare or a stomachache, when it was really your remedy was to give him a teaspoon of whiskey to quiet him.
Anyway, it's true. You did the same thing with me. I can remember that teaspoonful of booze every time I woke up with a nightmare.
Oh, you were continually having nightmares when you were little. But you were bored, afraid, because I was so afraid to bring you into the world. Please, don't think I blame your father, Edmund. Well, he didn't know any better. He never went to school after he was 10. His people were the most ignorant kind of poverty-stricken Irish. I'm sure they really believed whiskey was the best
Papa,
medicine
we gonna
for
have
a
that
child
drink,
who's
or-
frightened or sick.
We're gonna drink hard. I'm fool to listen.
Sorry if I sounded bitter. I'm not. It's all so far away. But I did feel a little hurt when you wished you hadn't come home. I was so happy and relieved when you came. Very dreary and sad to be alone here in the fog with night falling.
Mary, I want to be here when you're your real self.
I was so lonesome I kept Kathleen with me just to have somebody to talk to. Do you know what I was telling you, dear?
No,
about the
Mary.
night my father took me back to your dressing room and I first fell in love with you. Do you remember?
Oh, my God, do you think I would ever forget, Mary?
No.
Huh? Do you?
No, I know you still love me in spite of
As
everything.
God is my judge forever and always, Mary.
And I still love you in spite of everything, but I must confess, James, though I couldn't help loving you, I would never have married you if I knew you dragged so much. I remember the first time your barroom friend said to help you up to the hotel room and then knocked on the door and ran away before I came to the door. We were still on our honeymoon, do you remember?
No, I do not remember, and it wasn't our honeymoon.
I had waited hour
I have
after
never
hour
had
in
to be
that
helped
ugly
up to a
hotel
door
room.
in my...
I kept making excuses for you. I told myself it must be some business connected with the theater. I knew so little about the theater. Then I became terrified. I imagined all sorts of horrible accidents. I got down on my knees and prayed that nothing had happened to you, and then they brought you up and left you outside the door.
God, no wonder.
I didn't know how often it was to happen in the years to come, how many times I was to wait in ugly hotel rooms. I became quite used to
When
it.
is dinner, Mama? Must be time.
God, it must be. Mary, can't you forget?
No. But I forgive. I always forgive you, dear, so don't look so guilty. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to make you sad. I want to remember only the parts of the past that were happy. Do you remember our wedding, dear?
Oh,
I'm sure you completely forgot what my wedding gown looked like. Men don't notice such things. They don't think they're important, but oh, it was important to me. I can tell you how I fussed and worried. I was so excited and happy. My father said, buy anything you want, never mind the cost. The best is none too good. He spoiled me dreadfully. My mother didn't. She was very pious and strict. I think she was a little jealous. She didn't approve of my marrying, especially an actor. I think she hoped I'd be a nun. She used to scold my father. She'd say, you never tell me, never mind the cost. When I buy anything, you spoil that girl, so I pity her poor husband if she ever marries. She'll expect him to give her the moon. She'll never make a good wife. She was mistaken, wasn't she, James?
What?
I haven't been such a bad wife, have I?
I'm not complaining, Mary.
At least I've loved you dearly and done the best I could under the circumstances. That wedding gown was nearly the death of me, and the dressmaker, too. I was so particular, it was never quite good enough. Finally, she said she refused to touch it for fear she'd spoil it, and I made her leave the room so I could examine myself in the mirror. I was so vain and pleased, I told myself, even if your nose and your mouth and your ears are a trifle large, your eyes and your hair and your figure and your hands make up for it. You're as pretty as any actress he ever met, and you don't have to use paint. You don't have to use paint. You don't have to use paint. Where's my wedding gown now, I wonder? I kept it wrapped in tissue paper in my drawer. Well, I used to hope I'd have a daughter, and when it came time for her to marry, she couldn't have bought a lovelier gown. I knew, James, you'd never say, never mind the cost. You'd expect her to pick it up at a bargain someplace. It was made of soft, shimmery satin. And it was trimmed with wonderful old Duchess lace around the neck and the sleeves, and lace worked in with the folds that were draped round in a bustle effect in the back. The basque was boned and very tight. I remember I held my breath when it was fitted so my waist would be as small as possible. My father even let me have Lace in my white satin slippers. And lace with the orange blossoms in my veil. Oh, how I loved that gown. It was so beautiful. But where is it now, I wonder? I used to take it out from time to time when I was lonely, but it always made me cry, so finally, a long time ago, I wonder where I hid it. Maybe in a trunk in the attic. Someday I'll have to look.
Isn't dinner ready? You're always scolding me, Mary, because I'm late and dinner's ready. Well, for once I'm here and dinner's... If I can't eat, I'll drink. Forgot I had this stuff lying. Who's been tampering with my whiskey? Now, damn it, the stuff is half water. Well, Jamie's... Oh, he's been away. Even he wouldn't overdo a trick like... A fool could tell, Edmund. Oh, my God. Mary, now you answer me, damn it. If you've taken the drink on top of everything else... What?
You treated Kathleen and Bridget, isn't that it, Mama?
Yes. Of course, that they work hard for poor wages, and I'm the housekeeper. I have to keep them from leaving. Besides, I wanted to treat Kathleen because I had her go uptown this afternoon with me and sent her in to get my prescription filled.
For God's sake, Mama, you can't trust her. You want everyone on Earth to know?
Know what? That I suffer from rheumatism in my hands and need medicine to stop the pain? Why should I be ashamed of that? I never knew what rheumatism was until you were born. Ask your father.
Don't pay any attention to her, lad. Once she's off with that wild excuse about those hands, she is far away from us.
I'm glad you realize that, James, or perhaps you'll give up trying to remind me, you and Edmund. Oh, why don't you turn on the light, James? It's getting dark. I know you hate you, but Edmund has proved to you that one bulb burning doesn't cost much. You mustn't let your fear of the poorhouse make you
I have never
stingy.
said that one bulb cost much. It's having them on one here, one there. That makes the electric company rich. I'm a damn fool to try to speak reason to you. I'm getting a fresh bottle, lad. You'll have a real...
He'll sneak around to the outside cellar door so the servants won't see him. He's really ashamed of keeping his whiskey padlocked in the cellar. Your father's a very strange man, Edmund. It took me many years before I understood him. But you must try and understand, too, and forgive, and not feel content because he's close-fisted. His father deserted his mother and their 6 children a year after they came to America. He told them he had a premonition he was going to die soon, and he was homesick for Ireland and wanted to go back there to die. And so he went, and he did die. He must have been a peculiar man, too. But your father had to go to work in a machine shop when he was only 10 years old.
I've heard Papa tell that machine shop story 10,000 times.
Oh, I know you've had to listen. I don't think you've ever tried to understand.
You're not so far gone yet. You've forgotten everything. You haven't asked me what I found out this afternoon. Don't you care a damn?
Oh, please, dear,
What
you
I've got
hurt
is
me.
serious, Mama. Doc Hardy knows
That
if
lie,
we called any
quack,
specialist to examine me.
Don't talk to me about Dr. Hardy. If you could hear what the doctor at the sanatorium said about him, the way he treated me, he said he ought to be locked up. He said it was a wonder I hadn't gone mad. I told him I had one night, the night I ran down to the dock in my nightdress. You remember that?
Oh, I
If you want me
remember,
to
all right.
Pay attention
It was
to
right
Dr.
after that
Hardy,
Pop and Jamie
no.
decided they couldn't hide it from me anymore. Jamie told me. I called him a liar. I tried to punch him in the nose. But I knew he wasn't lying. God. It made everything in life seem rotten.
My baby. You hurt me so dreadful.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. It was you who brought it up. Listen, I'm going to tell you whether you want to hear it or not. I've got to go to a sanatorium.
Go away. No. I won't have it. How dare Dr. Hardy advise such a thing without consulting me? How dare your father allow it? What right has he? You're my baby. Let him tend to Jamie. Oh, I know why he wants to send you to a sanatorium to take you from me. He's always tried to do that with every one of my babies. He's been jealous of every one of them. He always found ways to make me leave, and that was the reason for Eugene.
Will you stop talking crazy? Will you stop trying to blame him? Why are you so against my going away now? I've been away a lot. I've never noticed it broke your heart.
afraid you're not very sensitive after all. You might have guessed, dear, that once I knew you knew about me, I had to be glad whenever you were where you couldn't see me.
Oh, don't. All this talk about loving me, you won't even listen when I try to tell you how sick I really...
I know it's only Hardy's ignorant eyes. You are so like your father, do you? Like making a big scene about nothing at all so you can get dramatic and tragic. If I gave you the slightest encouragement, you'd tell me next you were going to die.
Well, people do die of it. Your own father died.
Why do you mention him? There's no comparison at all with you. He had consumption. Oh, I hate you when you're gloomy. I forbid you to remind me of my father's death. Do you hear me?
I hear you, God. God is pretty hard to take at times having a dope fiend for a mother. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just angry. You hurt me. I'm sorry.
Listen to the foghorn. Why is it fog makes everything sound so sad and lost, I wonder?
I can't stay here. I don't want any dinner.
I must go up. I haven't taken enough. I hope sometime, without meaning it, I will take an overdose. I could never do it deliberately. The Blessed Virgin would never forgive me then.
The padlock is all scratched. Drunken loafer. He tried to pick it with a wire, like he's done in the past. I fooled him this time. I've got a special padlock on that thing a professional burglar couldn't pick. Where's Edmund?
He went out.
What?
He has some money left. I suppose it's burning a hole in his pocket. Maybe he went uptown to find Jamie again.
Yeah, whatever.
He said he didn't want any dinner. He just doesn't have any appetite.
Yeah.
It's just a summer cold.
Yeah.
James, I'm so frightened. Huh? I know he's going to die.
Don't say that, Mabel. The doctor assured me he could be cured in 6 months.
You don't believe that. I know when you're acting.
Hush.
I should never have borne him. I could never have hurt him. Then he would never have had to know his mother was a dope fiend and hate her.
Mary, don't say that. My God, he loves you. He knows it was a curse put on you without your knowing or willing it. He's proud that you're his mother.
Dinner is served. Sir, dinner is served, Mum. So you're here, are you? Well. Won't Bridget be in a rage? I told her the madam said you wouldn't be home. Don't be looking at me that way. If I've a drop taken, I didn't steal it. I was invited.
Let's go into dinner, dear. I'm hungry as a hunter.
I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me, James. I couldn't possibly eat anything. My hands pain me dreadfully. I think it's best I go upstairs.
Oh, God, yes, up. Up for more of that damn poison. Mary, my God, you'll be like a mad ghost before the night is half over.
I don't know what you're talking about. You say such mean, bitter things when you've had too much to drink. You're as bad as Edmund or Jamie.
Mary. Mary!
Is that you, Edmund? Yeah. Oh, good.
I'm glad you're back, lad. Put out that light before you come in. You are one fine one. I was getting damn lonely. You run away. You leave me sitting here all alone in the middle of the night when you know that she... I said, put out that light. We're not having a ball here. Quicker, there's no need to have the house ablaze with electricity at this hour of the night. It's burning up money.
Ablaze with electricity? It's one bulb. Oh. Hell, everyone keeps the light on in the front hall till they go to bed. I damn near busted my knee in the door.
The light from here shows by the door, and you could see your way well enough if you were sober.
If I was sober, I'd like that.
I don't give one damn about other people, you know. They want to be wasteful fools.
For God's sake, don't be such a cheapskate. I've proved by figures. If you left the light bulb on all night, it wouldn't be as much as one...
The proof is in the bills I pay.
Yes. Facts don't mean a thing, do they? What you want to believe, that's the only truth.
Huh?
Shakespeare was an Irish Catholic, for example.
So he was? The proof is in his plays.
Oh, he wasn't. There's no
proof
in his plays except to you. The Duke of Wellington, there was another good Irish Catholic.
I never said he was a good one. He was a renegade, but a Catholic just the same.
Well, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
You just don't want to believe no one but an Irish Catholic general could beat Napoleon.
I am not going to argue with you. I said put out the light by the door.
I heard you, and as far as I'm concerned, it stays on.
Damned insolence. Are you going to obey me or not?
Not. If you want to be a crazy miser, you can put it out yourself.
I put up with too much from you in the past, eh? From some of those mad things you've done. I didn't think you were quite right in the head, and so I've always excused you, never lifted my hand to you. Well, there is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, you will obey me. You put out that light. Big as you are, so help me, I'll give you a thrashing that'll teach you. Forgive me, I forgot you're not well, lad. But you shouldn't goad me into losing my temper.
I apologize. I had no right being nasty about nothing. I am a bit sussed. I guess I'll put out the damn light.
Stay where you are. Let it burn.
No. Put out the light. Put out the light.
Let it burn, eh? No, leave it on. Leave them all on. Why not? What the hell with them?
The poor house is at the end of the road, eh? So it might as well come sooner as late. Oh, no, yes, laugh. Laugh at the poor old fool, eh? The old ham. I will tell you something, young man. The poorhouse will be the final curtain yet. And that is not comedy. Let's not argue, eh? You will live to learn the value of $1. You have brains in your head, lad. You just do your best to deny them. Oh, you're not like that damn tramp brother of yours. God, I've given up hope that he'll ever... Where is he, by the way?
How would I know?
Well, I thought you went uptown to meet him.
Oh, I walked out to the beach. I haven't seen him since this afternoon.
God. If you split the money I gave you
I
with
did.
him
He's
like
always
a fool.
staked me when he had anything.
It does not take a soothsayer to tell you. He's in the whorehouse.
Well, whatever if he is, why not?
Oh, why not? Yeah. Fifth place indeed.
If
he ever had a loftier dream than whores and whiskey, I never heard of it. God, well, never mind. I don't like the subject any better than you do. But would you have a drink with me, lad?
Oh, now you're talking.
Now you're talking. Yeah, well, I shouldn't invite you. You've had enough already.
Well, enough is not as good as a feast.
Well, there's too much in your condition.
Don't forget my condition. Here's how.
Drink up and take off your... Oh, my God, you walked all the way to the beach. You must have gotten damp and chilled.
Oh, I dropped in at the inn on the way out and back.
It's not a night that I'd pick for a long walk.
I love the fog. It was what I needed.
You should have enough sense not to risk catching more
The hell
cold.
with sense? What do we want with sense? We're all crazy.
Huh?
They are not long, the weeping and the laughter, love and desire and hate. I think they have no portion in us after we pass the gate.
God.
They are not long, the days of wine and roses.
Edmund.
Out of a misty dream, our path emerges for a while and closes within a dream. The fog was where I wanted to be. Halfway down the path, you can't even see this house. You'd never even know it was here or any of the other places down this avenue. I couldn't see but a few feet ahead of me. I didn't meet a soul. Nothing was what it is. Everything looked and sounded unreal. That's what I wanted. Be alone with myself. In another world where truth is untrue and life can hide from itself.
What?
Out beyond the harbor, where the road runs along the beach, I even lost the feeling of being on land. The fog and the sea seemed part of each other. It was like walking on the bottom of the sea. As if I drowned long ago, as if I was a ghost belonging to the fog, and the fog was the ghost of the sea. It felt damn peaceful to be nothing more than a ghost within a ghost. Oh, don't look at me as if I'd gone nutty. I'm talking sense. Who wants to see life as it is if they can help it? It's the three Gorgons in one. You look in their face and you turn to stone, or it's Pan. You see him and you die. That is inside of you. And you have to go on living as a ghost.
Oh, you have a poet in you, lad. It's a damn morbid one. Well, the devil take your pessimism. I'm downhearted enough already. God, why can't you remember Shakespeare? And forget those third-raters, that you will find what you're trying to say in him, lad, as you will anything else that's worth saying. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep.
Well, fine, that's beautiful, but I wasn't trying to say that. We are such stuff as manure is made on, so let's drink up and forget it. That's
for
more
yourself.
my
I shouldn't have given you that drink.
It did pack a wallop, all right. On you, too, even if you never missed a performance. Wow, along with being drunk. It's what we're after, isn't it, Papa? Let's not kid each other, not tonight. We know we're trying to forget, but let's not talk about it. It's no use.
All we can do is try to be resigned again.
Or be so drunk you can forget it.
Oh, lads.
Be always drunken. Nothing else matters. That is the only question. If you would not feel the horrible burden of time weighing on your shoulders and crushing you to the earth, be drunken continually. Drunken with what? Drunken with wine, drunken with poetry, or drunken with virtue, if you will, but be drunken.
I wouldn't worry about the virtue part of that if I were you. That is morbid nonsense. God, what little truth is in it, you'd find nobly said in Shakespeare. Although you did recite it well. Who wrote that?
Baudelaire.
I never heard of him. Where the hell do you get your taste in authors, lad? It is that damned library of yours with them. Voltaire, Rousseau, Schopenhauer, Nietzsche,
Nietzsche.
Ibsen, atheists. God, they're fools and madmen, and these poets, they're Dowson, Baudelaire, Swinburne, Oscar Wilde, degenerate. God, I've got 3 good sets of Shakespeare you could
They
read.
say he was a souse, too.
They lie. I have no doubt he liked his glass. That is a good man's failing, but he could drink without letting it poison his mind with morbidness, filth. Don't you dare compare him to that pack you have in there. Your dirty Zola. And, Dante Gabriel Rossetti. He was a dope fiend.
Perhaps it would be wise to change the subject. Anyway, you can't accuse me of not knowing Shakespeare. Didn't I win $5 from you once when you bet me I couldn't learn a leading part of his in a week as you used to do in stock in the old days? I learned Macbeth. I recited it letter perfect with you giving me the cues. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable recorded time. And all our yesterdays are like fools.
Oh, I remember. All right, I remember. I remember you're murdering the
It is a tale
lines.
told by an idiot. Full of
I remember.
sound
I wish I'd
and
paid the
glory,
bet over and you wouldn't have to
signifying.
prove it.
Oh, my God. Oh, she's moving around, and I thought she'd gone to sleep.
Oh, forget it.
Oh.
Forget it, Papa.
Oh, all right.
How about another drink?
Oh, God, drink hearty, lad.
When did Mama go to bed?
Well, right after you left. She didn't want any dinner. What made you run away?
Nothing. Oh, here's how.
Lord, I hope she doesn't come down.
Why? She'd be nothing but a ghost haunting the past by this time, back before I was born.
Don't I know? Back before she ever knew me. Don't you think the only happy days that woman had ever known were at her father's house or that convent, praying or playing that piano? Yeah, well, I told you before, though, lad, you have to take your mother's reminiscences with a grain of salt. Think of that wonderful home of hers? That was ordinary enough. And her father was not that grand, noble, odious gentleman that she'd make him out to be. He was a nice enough man. He was pleasant company, a good talker. I liked him. He liked me. Oh, he was prosperous enough. Wholesale grocery business. Able man. Oh, but he had it. He had his weakness. Like, you know, your mother condemns my drinking. She forgets about his. It is true, he did not touch a drop till he was 40. And then he made up for lost time. He became a champagne drinker. That is the worst. But that was the grand pose, to drink only champagne. You go, well, that did him in quick enough. You go, well, that and the consumption.
Well, you don't seem able to avoid unpleasant topics, do we?
Oh, well, I was...
Hey, lad, how about a game, a hand or two of casino?
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We can't lock up anyhow until Jamie gets back on the last trolley, which I hope he does not. I don't want to go up anyhow until she's asleep.
Oh, neither do I.
Oh, you know, I was telling you that you have to take your mother's tales of the past with that grain of salt. The piano playing, her dreams of being a concert piano player. That was put in her head by the nuns, lad. See, well, she was their pet because she was so devout. They are very innocent women, you know, in the ways of the world. They don't know that not one in a million
Why
that
don't you
shows
deal
promise.
if we're going to play, Papa?
Shows promise is going to be a concert piano. But not that she didn't play well enough for a schoolgirl, you know. That doesn't mean you can take it for granted that she could ever be a concert. And her becoming a nun, that was the worst. Oh, God, your mother... Oh, God, your mother was the most beautiful girl that you could ever see. And she knew it. Did you know this about your mother? That she was a bit of a rogue, a coquette, you know, behind all the blushing and the shyness, but she was not meant to renounce the world. Oh, Lord, she was bursting with health.
Papa, we're going to play cards. Why don't you pick up your hand?
Oh, God, the love of loving.
Papa?
I am.
Papa, it's your play.
Pretend to play the hand. Maybe she'll go back up.
I don't see her. She must have started down and turned back again.
Oh, thank God.
Well, it's pretty horrible to see her the way she must be now. Hardest thing to take is that blank wall she builds around herself. It's more like a bank of fog in which she hides and loses herself deliberately, though. That's the hell of it.
What?
You know something and it does it deliberately to get beyond our reach, to forget we're alive, to be rid of us. It's as if, in spite of loving us, Papa, she hated us.
No, that's not her. That's that poison.
Well, she takes it to get that effect. At least I know she did this time.
She has been very frightened by your illness, and
Despite all the pretending, don't be too hard on her.
Once that poison gets a hold of anybody...
Well, never should have got a hold of her. I know damn well she's not to blame. I know who is. You are. Your damn stinginess. If you'd sent her to a decent doctor when she was so sick after I was born, she'd never have known morphine existed. Instead, you put her in the hands of a hotel quack who wouldn't admit his ignorance. And he took the easiest way out, not giving a damn what happened to her afterwards. All because his fee was cheap. It was another one of your bargains,
Lad,
Papa.
listen, you must see my side of it, my boy, because how was I to know he was that kind of a doctor?
He had a very good reputation.
Yeah, among the sousers in the hotel bar.
But that is a lie. I asked the hotel proprietor myself. I said, recommend the very best.
Yes, at the same time crying poorhouse and making a plane you wanted a cheap one. I know your system. By God, I ought to after this afternoon.
What about this afternoon?
Never mind now. We're talking about Mama. No.
No. What about this afternoon?
All I'm saying is no matter how you try to excuse yourself, you know damn well your stinginess.
That's a lie.
After you found out she'd been made a morphine addict, why didn't you send her to a cure then at the start while she still had a chance? No. No. That would have meant spending some money. I'll bet you told her all she had to do was use a little willpower. I'll bet that you still believe in your heart in spite of what doctors who really know something about it have told you.
I know better now, lad, but what the hell did I know then? What did I know of morphine?
All I knew was that your mother was not over that damned illness yet.
That is all.
God, it was years before I knew that she...
why didn't I send her to a cure, you ask? My God! Haven't I spent thousands upon thousands in those damn cures? Waste. What good did it do? She always started again.
Well, you've never given her anything that would help her want to stay off it.
What?
No home, well, except this summer dump in a place she hates. And you've refused even to spend money to make this place look decent. Well, you keep buying more property.
Oh, my God.
And playing sucker for every con man with a gold mine or a silver mine or any
Say
kind
that
of get
after
rich
all
quick
I
swindle.
have done for you.
We'll come to that, what you're doing for me. Dragging her on the road season after season on one-night stands with no one she could talk to. Waiting up night after night in dirty hotel rooms for you to come home with a bun on after the bars. God, Papa, is it any wonder she didn't want to be cured? Jesus, when I think about it, I hate your guts.
Stop it! You stop making those crazy accusations your mother only makes when that poison is talking. I never dragged your mother on the road against her will. Naturally, I wanted her with me. I loved her. She came. She wanted to be with me. She loved me. That is the truth. No matter what she says when she's not in her right mind. And she needn't have been lonely, as you would like to put it. She could always have spoken to the members of my company. Oh. If she had wanted to, damn it. And she had her children with her, huh? And I insisted, in spite of the damned expense, on a nurse to travel with her.
Yes, your one generosity in that because you were jealous of her paying too much attention to her. You wanted us out of your way. Well, it was another mistake, too. If she had to take care of me all by herself and she had that to occupy her mind, maybe she'd have been able to stay off.
For God's sake, if you had never been born, then she would never have started.
I know that's the way she feels.
No. She does not feel that way, lad. No, she loves you as a mother ever loved a child. I only say that because you drive me into such a goddamn rage. Oh, that dragging up the past. Just... saying that you hate
I didn't mean it, Papa. I'm just like Mama. I can't help liking in spite of everything.
I say the same of you! Oh, my God, you are no great shakes as a son. Isn't it a case of a poor thing, but mine own? Whose play is it?
It's yours.
You know, you really shouldn't get so upset by the bad news you got this afternoon. Like both doctors assured me, who just obey instructions at this place you're going to, you could be cured in 6 months, year at the most.
Papa, don't kid me. You don't believe that.
Well, why shouldn't I believe
Papa,
it?
you
Both
think
doctors...
I'm going to die. That's why you're sending me to a state farm, isn't it?
What? State? Farm? Well, all I know is that it's called the Hilltown Sanatorium. Both doctors said it was the best place for you.
For the money, or for nothing, or practically nothing. Don't lie about it, Papa. You know damn well Hilltown Sanatorium is a state institution.
I know nothing of the kind.
Don't lie about it. Jamie suspected you cried poorhouse to heart, and he wormed the truth out of it. You can't deny it's the truth about the state farm.
No. It is not true the way you look at it. What if it is run by the state? What's wrong with that? The state has enough money to run a better place than a private sanatorium. Now, why shouldn't I take advantage of it, eh? That is my privilege, and yours. We are residents. Wait a minute, I help support that damn place. I'm a property owner, and I am taxed to death.
Yeah, I'm property valued at $250,000.
Lies, it's all mortgaged.
Papa Hardy and the specialists know what you're worth. I wonder what they thought of you when they heard you moaning poorhouse.
I only said
you
I
wanted
was
to wish me on
poor.
charity, and then you went to the club, and you let McGuire stick you with another bum piece of property.
Don't lie.
Don't lie.
Lies.
Papa, Jamie and I met McGuire in the hotel bar after he left you. And Jamie kidded him about hooking you, and he winked and he laughed. Papa, don't lie.
Man is a
Don't lie about it. Ever since I went to sea and I was on my own and I found out what hard work for little pay was and what it felt like to be broke and to starve and to camp on park benches because I had no place to sleep, I've tried to be fair to you. Because I know what you've been up against as a kid. I've tried to make allowances. Oh, God, you have to make allowances in this damn family. You go nuts. I've tried to make allowances for myself when I think of all the rotten stunts I pulled. I've tried to feel like Mama that you can't help being what you are where money is concerned. But God almighty, Papa, this last stunt of yours is too much. It makes me want to puke. Not because of the rotten way you're treating me. To hell with that. I've treated you rottenly in my way more than once, but to think when it's a question of your son having consumption. You can show yourself up before the whole town is such a stinking old tightwad, don't you?
Oh, I'm not going to mind you, Pietro.
Hardy will talk and the whole town will know. Haven't you any pride?
No.
Haven't you any shame?
No, I'm not going to mind you.
I'm not going to go to any damn state farms to save you a few lousy dollars to buy more property with you stinking old miser.
That's right. I'm not going to mind you.
Stop that coughing! Getting all upset over nothing. Who said you had to go to this hillside place? All right, you can go anywhere you want. I do not give one damn what it costs. All I care about is for you to get well. You must believe that. Eh? And don't call me a stinking old miser just because I don't want those damn doctors to think I'm some millionaire they can swindle. Looking a little peaked, lad. Let's get a bracer. Eh? Go on. Whose play is it? A stinking old miser. Oh. Well, maybe you're right, lad. Maybe I just can't help it, eh? As long as I can remember, whenever I've had anything, I was willing to throw money over the bar, buy drinks for the house. I've loaned money to sponges and knew I'm never going to pay it back. Because that was in bar runs when I was full of whiskey, wasn't it? I have never been able to feel that way sober. Not in my own home. I have never believed in my luck, lad. I was always afraid it would change. Oh, God, I might lose everything I've owned. But somehow you feel the more property you have, the safer you are. I know that's not logical. It's just the way I have to feel. If banks fail, you lose your money. But when you think you can keep property under your feet, it's... Oh, you say you know what I was up against when I was a boy. Well, the hell you do. My God, how could you? You've had everything. Oh, nurses, schools, college, even though you didn't stay there. We had a little stint of hard work, eh, with our back in hands. Oh, a bit of being penniless, lonely in some foreign country. Well, I admire you for it. My God, that... It was adventure, romance to you. That was play.
Oh, yeah, particularly the time I tried to commit suicide.
You weren't in your right mind,
and I almost did.
Nobody in my family, you were drunk.
I was stone cold sober. That was the trouble. I'd stopped to think for too long.
Don't start with that damn morbid atheism with me, boy, because I do not care to listen to it. I'm trying to explain to you, lad. How could you know the value of $1? When I was 10 years old, my father deserted my mother. He went back to Ireland to die, which he did soon enough, and, well, he deserved it. I hope he's roasting in hell. Man mistook rat poison for flour. Sugar. Well, it was something. Oh, there was some gossip that it was not by mistake. Lies.
Nobody... Papa, it wasn't by mistake.
More, but who put that in your head, huh? Your damn tramp brother, the worst he's ever thought of anybody. That's the only truth he's ever known. What the hell with it? My mother was left a stranger in a strange land with 4 small children. No, me, my older sister, 2 younger ones.
I know.
See, my 2 older brothers couldn't help. They'd moved to other parts. God, they were hard put just to stay alive. And there was no damn romance in our poverty. Twice we were evicted from a hovel that we called a home, and my mother's few sticks of furniture were just thrown out into the gutter.
My mother, my two little sisters, crying. I was crying, and I was trying so hard not to because I was the man of the family. I was 10 years old, and no school for me, boy. I worked. 12 hours a day I worked in a machine shop, learning how to make files. Oh, that dang dirty barn of a place. It's sweltering in the summer, and then rain coming through the roof. No stove in the window. Oh, no, your hands just grew numb with the cold. The only light came through 2 small, filthy windows, lad. On a gray day, I had to sit this close to the file in order to see. Eh? You talk about work. Ooh. And do you know what I got
50 cents
for
a
it?
week.
50 cents a week, that's right. We didn't have clothes enough to wear, boy. Food enough to eat. Oh. I remember one Thanksgiving.
Oh, God, Papa, it was Christmas.
No, it was a Christmas. A Yank gave my mother an extra $1 just as a present. On the way home, she spent the entire thing on food. Oh, God, I can see her now. She was hugging us and kissing us, the tears streaming down that tired old face. And then she said, oh, glory be to God, for once there'll be enough for each of us. Oh, that fine, sweet, brave woman. Oh, there never was a finer, braver one.
Yeah, she must have been.
Her one fear, lad, was that she would grow old and sick and die in the poorhouse. Those were the days when I learned to be a miser. I think $1 was worth just so much then, boy. A lesson learned very hard to unlearn. You have to search for bargains. Now, if I mistook this hillside place for a bargain, they go, well, you're just going to have to forgive me, lad. Both doctors did say it was a very good place. And I never meant you were to go there if you didn't want to. My God, you can go anywhere you want. I don't care what it costs. Any place that I can afford. Anywhere you want. Within reason. There was one other place. The specialist recommended it. He said it was the equal of any in America. Run by a bunch of millionaire factory owners. That's primarily for the benefit of their workers. You qualify, lad. You are a resident. They have so much money behind it, they don't have to charge much. You know, $7 a week, you get 10 times that value. I am not trying to persuade you to anything. You know that. I'm just repeating what I've been told.
Oh, I know that, Papa. Sounds like a good bargain to me. Oh, I'd like to go there. Well, it doesn't matter a damn now, does it? What about a game? Whose plays it?
Mine. Yours. Oh, Christ, maybe life overdid the lesson, lad. Made $1 worth too much, huh? The day came when that mistake ruined my career as a fine actor. I have never admitted this to anyone, lad. Oh, what the hell? I feel so downhearted. I feel like it's the end of everything anyway. What the hell is the sense of fake pride or pretense? This damn play that I bought for a song made such a great success, great money success in. Ruined me with that promise of easy fortune. I didn't want to play anything else, and by the time I woke up to the fact I was a slave to that damn thing, it was too late. They'd identified me with that one part. They didn't want to see me in anything else. were right. I lost a great talent. Through years of easy repetition, never learning any new, never really working hard. $35,000 to $40,000 net profit a season. Look, too great a temptation. Oh, God, before I bought that damn thing, I was considered one of the 3 or 4 young actors with the greatest artistic promise in America. Oh, I had worked like hell. I gave up a good machinist job just to play super spots. I loved the theater so. Oh, I was wild with ambition. I got rid of a brogue you could cut with a knife. And I read every play ever written. I studied Shakespeare like you'd study the Bible. God, I loved Shakespeare. I would have worked in Shakespeare for nothing. The joy of being alive in that great poetry. Oh, I acted well in him. God, he inspired me. I could have been a great Shakespearean actor if I'd kept on. And I know it. Oh. Lad, in 1874, Booth came to Chicago, to the theater where I was the leading man, and I played Cassius to his Brutus one night, Brutus to his Cassius the next, Othello to his Iago. The first night that I played Othello, he said to the stage manager, "That young man is playing Othello better than I ever did." That's from Booth. Greatest actor of his day. Of any day. Till it was true. I was 27 years old, and that was the highlight. God, I had the world right where I wanted it. Yeah, and I continued on for a while after that, ambition high, but a couple of years later, my good bad luck brought me the big money maker. I didn't look at it that way at first, Edmund. I just thought of it as a fine, romantic league. I knew I could play it better than anybody else. Lord, it was a huge box office hit right from the start. That life had me, where it wanted me at $35,000 to $40,000 net profit a season. Oh, that was a fortune in those days. Even now, what did I want to buy? I wondered it was worth. It is a little late in the day for regrets. My play?
I'm glad you told me this, Papa.
Huh?
I know you a lot better now.
Maybe I shouldn't have told you, lad. You'll probably only resent me all the more. It's really not a very good way to teach you the value of $1. Oh. Glare from those extra lights bothers my eyes. You don't mind if we turn them out, do you? We don't really need them.
No. Turn them out.
No sense making the electric company rich.
Put out the light. And then put out the light.
Damn, I don't know what the hell I wanted to buy. Oh, God, Edmund. Solemn oath. I would gladly face not having 1 acre of land, not $1 in a bank. The poorhouse for my only home. If I could just look back on having been the fine actor I might have been. Oh. Oh, what the hell are you laughing at?
Not at you, Papa.
Yeah?
Just at life. It's so damn crazy.
More morbidness. There's nothing wrong with life, lad. It is us. Oh, the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Oh, the praise that Booth gave my Othello. I made the stage manager write his exact words down on a piece of paper, lad. I carried it in my wallet for years. I'd take it out now and then. I'd look at it until it made me feel bad. Where is it now? In the house. Yes. I put it away for safekeeping.
Oh, maybe it's in an old trunk in the attic along with Mama's wedding dress. For Pete's sake, Pop, if we're gonna play cards, why don't we just play cards?
Oh, I thought she was moving around.
Oh, forget it. She moves above and beyond us, a ghost haunting the past. And here we sit pretending to forget, straining our ears, listening for the slightest sound, hearing the fog drip from the eaves like the uneven tick of a run-down, crazy clock. Or like the dreary tears of a trollop spattering a puddle of stale beer on a honky-tonk tabletop. It's not so bad, that last day.
Uh-huh.
That was original. Not Baudelaire. Oh, you give me credit. Well, you told me some high spots in your memories. You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
They're all connected with the sea. Here's one. I was on the square, hit the square rigger bound for Buenos Aires. It was a full moon in the trades, and the old hooker was driving 14 knots. I lay in the bowsprit, facing astern with the water foaming into spume under me, and the masts, with every sail white in the moonlight, towering high above me. I became drunk with the beauty and the singing rhythm of it. And for a moment, I lost myself. I actually lost my life. I was set free. I dissolved in the sea. I became white sails and flying spray. I became beauty and rhythm. I became moonlight and the ship and the high, dim-starred sky. I belonged, without past or future, within peace and unity and a wild joy, within something greater than my own life, or the life of man, to life itself. Oh, to God, if you want to put it that way. And another time on the American line, when I was lookout in the crow's nest in the dawn watch, it was a calm sea that time. It was only a lazy groundswell, a slow, drowsy roll of the ship. All the passengers asleep, none of the crew in sight. There's no sound of man. Black smoke pouring from the funnels behind and beneath me. I was dreaming, not keeping lookout, and feeling alone and above and apart, watching the dawn creep like a painted dream over the sky and the sea which slept together. It was then the moment of ecstatic freedom came. The peace, the end of the quest, the last harbor, the joy of belonging to a fulfillment beyond men's lousy, pitiful, greedy fears and hopes and dreams. And several other times in my life when I was swimming far out or lying alone on the beach, I've had the same experience. I've become the sun. I've become the hot sand. I've become the green seaweed anchored to a rock swaying in the tide. It was like a saint's vision of beatitude. It was like the veil of things as they seem, drawn back by an unseen hand. For a second you see. And seeing the secret are the secret. For a second there is meaning. And then the hand lets the veil fall, and you're alone again, and you're lost in the fog, and you stumble on towards nowhere for no good reason. It was a great mistake, my being born a man. I would have been much more successful as a seagull or a fish. As it is, I'll always be a stranger who never feels at home, who does not really want, who's not really wanted, who can never belong, who must always be a little in love with death.
Oh, lad, you have the makings of a poet in you, but that
Makings of a
morbid
poet. Papa, no, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm like the guy who's always panhandling for a smoke. He hasn't even got the makings. He's only got the habit. I couldn't touch what I tried to tell you just now. I only stammered. Is that the best I'll ever do? I mean, if I live. Well. It'll be faithful realism, at least. Stammering is the native eloquence of us fog people. Oh, that sounds like the absent brother. He must have a peach of a bun on.
God, I like it. He caught the last trolley. Bad luck to him. I'm going out in the back porch, lad. You get him to bed. My goodness. He's got a tongue like an adder on him when he's drunk, and I'd lose my temper.
Oh, God, what is it? Hey, nix on the loud noise.
Oh, hello, kid. I'm as drunk as a fiddler's bitch.
Thanks for telling me a great secret.
Yeah. Unnecessary information number one. I had a serious accident. The front steps tried to trample on me. Took advantage of the fog to waylay me. Ought to be a lighthouse out there. It's dark in here, too. What the hell is this, the morgue? Let's have some light on this subject. Ford, 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 O Kabul River. Ford, O Kabul River in the dark. Keep the crossing sticks beside you, and they will surely guide you across the Ford, O Kabul River in the dark. That's more like it. Hell with old Gaspard. Where is the old tightwad?
He's out on the porch.
You can't expect us to live in the black hole of Calcutta. Say, have I got the DTs? Oh, my God, it's real. What's the matter with the old man? He must be ossified to forget he left this out. Well, grab opportunity by the forelock, key to my success.
Oh, you're stinking now. That'll knock you stiff.
Oh, wisdom from the mouth of babes. Can the wise stuff, kid. You're still wet behind the ears.
All right. Pass out if you want to.
I can't. That's the trouble. Had enough to sink a ship, but can't sink. Well, here's hoping.
All right, shove over the bottle. I'll have one.
Oh, no, you don't. Not while I'm around. Remember doctor's orders? Maybe no one else gives a damn if you die, but I do. My kid brother, everything else is gone. You're all I've got left. So no booze for you if I can help it.
Lay off it, will
Oh,
you?
you don't think I care? Just drunken bull? All right, go ahead and kill yourself.
I know you care. I'm going on the wagon, but the night doesn't count. Too many damn things have happened today. Well, here's how.
I know, it's been a lousy day for you, kid. I'll bet old Gaspard hasn't tried to keep you off booze. Probably give you a case to take with you to the state farm for pauper patients. The sooner you kick the bucket, the less expense. What a bastard there for a father. If you put him in a book, nobody would believe it.
Papa's all right if you try to understand him and you keep your sense of humor.
Oh, he's been putting on the old sob act for you, has he? Well, he can always kid you, but not me, never again. Although, in a way, I do feel sorry for him about one thing. But he even had that coming. He's to blame. Oh, to hell with that. That last drink's getting to me. This one ought to put the lights out. Oh, did you tell old Gaspard I got out of Doc Hardy? This sanatorium is a charity
I
dump?
told him I wouldn't go there. It's all settled now. He says I can go anywhere I want to. Within reason, of course.
Of course, lad. Anything within reason. That means another cheap dump. Old Gaspard, the miser and the bells.
Can't
That's a part
we?
he
I've
can
heard this
play without
Gaspard
me.
stuff a
Oh, all
million
right. If you're
times.
satisfied, let him get away with it. It's your funeral. I mean, I hope it won't be.
What'd you do uptown tonight? What'd you go to Mamie Burns?
Sure thing. Where else could I find suitable feminine companionship? And love, don't forget love. What is a man without a good woman's love? A hollow shell.
You're a nut.
Then turning to my love, I said, the dead are dancing with the dead. The dust is whirling with the dust. But she heard the violin and left my side and entered in. Love passed into the house of lust. And suddenly the tune went false. The dancers wearied of the well, that's not strictly accurate. My love was with me. I didn't notice it. She must have been a ghost. Guess which one of Mamie's charmers I picked to bless me with her woman's love. It'll hand you a laugh, kid. I picked Fat Violet.
She weighs a ton.
You're telling me?
What for, a joke?
No joke. Very serious. By the time I hit Mamie's dump, I felt very sad about myself, all the other poor bums in the world. Ready for a weep on any old womanly bosom. You know how you get when John Barleycorn turns on the soft music inside you. Then soon as I got in the door, Mamie began telling me all her troubles. Beefed how rotten business was. She was going to give Fat Violet the gate. Customers didn't fall for Vi. Only reason she kept her on was she could play the piano. Lately, Vi'd gone on drunks and been too boiled to play, was eating her out of house and home. And although Vi was a good-hearted dumbbell, she felt sorry for her because she didn't know how the hell she's going to make a living. Still, business was business, and she couldn't afford to run a home for fat tarts. Well, that made me feel sorry for Fat Violet. So I squandered $2 of your dough to escort her upstairs. With no dishonorable intentions whatever. I like 'em fat, but not that fat. All I wanted was a little heart-to-heart talk concerning the infinite sorrow of life.
Oh, poor Vi. I bet you gave her Kipling and Swinburne a little I have been faithful to thee, sonora, in my fashion.
Sure thing, with the old master John Barleycorn playing soft music. She stood it for a while, then she got good and sore. Got the idea. I took her upstairs for a joke, gave me a grand bawling out, said she was better than a drunken bum recited poetry. Then she began to cry. So I had to tell her I loved her because she was fat. She wanted to believe it, so I stayed with her to prove it. And that cheered her up a bit. And then she kissed me when I left and said she'd fallen hard for me. And then we cried a little more in the hallway and everything was fine. Except Mamie Burns thought I'd gone bughouse.
Harlots and hunted have pleasures of their own to give. The vulgar herd can never understand.
Exactly. Oh, it was a hell of a good time, too. You should have stuck around with me, kid. Mamie Burns inquired after you. She was sorry to hear you were sick. She meant it, too. This night has opened my eyes to a great career in store for me, my boy. I shall give the art of acting back to the performing seals, which are its most perfect expression. By applying my natural, God-given talents in their proper sphere, I shall attain the pinnacle of success. I'll be the lover of the fat woman in Barnum and Bailey's circus. Imagine me, sunk to the fat girl in some hick-town hooker shop. Me, made some of the best lookers on Broadway sit up and beg. Speaking in general, I've tried them all. The happy roads that take you over the world. That's not so apt. Happy roads is bunk. Weary roads is right. Get you nowhere fast. This ride got nowhere. Where everyone lands in the end, even and most of the poor suckers won't admit it.
Okay, will you? You'll be crying in a minute.
Don't you get too damn fresh. Oh, you're right. To hell with repining. Fat Violet's a good kid. I'm glad I stayed with her. Christian act cured her blues. should have stuck around with me. What's the sense in coming home to get the blues over what can't be helped? All over. Finished now. Not a hope. If I were hanged from the highest hill, mother o' mine, oh mother o' mine, I know whose love would follow me still.
Shut up.
Where's the hop head gone to?
Even though you're drunk, it's no excuse.
This booze talking, you know me, kid. I don't know what me means.
I'm sorry I hate you.
That's okay. Glad you did. My dirty tongue, I'd like to cut it out. I suppose it's because I feel so damn sunk. Because this time Mama had me fooled. She always thinks I think the worst, but this time I believe the best. Well, I suppose I can't forgive her. Yet. Meant so much. I've begun to hope if she'd beaten the game, I could too.
God, don't I know
I've
how
known
you
about
feel?
Mama so much longer than you. I'll never forget the first time I got wise. I caught her in the act with a hypo.
Stop it, Jamie. You stop it.
I never believed before that any women but whores took dope. Shh. Now this stuff, if you get in consumption, it's got me licked. We've been more than brothers. You're the only pal I've ever had. I love your guts, kid. I'd do anything for you.
Oh, I know that, Jamie.
Yet I bet you've heard Mama and old Gaspard spill so much bunk about my hoping for the worst. You suspect right now I'm thinking to myself, well, Papa's old, he can't last much longer, and if you were to die, Mama and I would get all he's got. So I'm probably hoping you would.
What the hell put that in your nut?
Don't be a dumb
That's what I'd like to know. What the hell put that in your mind?
Always suspected of hoping for the worst. I've got so I can't help myself. Say, what are you trying to do? Accuse me? Don't you play the wise guy with me. I've learned more of life than you'll ever know. Just because you've read a lot of highbrow junk, don't think you can fool me. You're just an overgrown kid, Mama's baby and Papa's pet, the family white hope. You've been getting a swelled head lately about nothing. Oh, about a bunch of poems in a Hicktown newspaper? Hell, I used to write better stuff for the Lit magazine in college. You better wake up. You're setting no rivers on fire. You let Hicktown boobs flatter you with bunk about your future. Hell, kid, I don't mean that. That goes for Sweeney. No one is prouder that you've started to make good. Hell, why shouldn't I be proud? It's purely selfish. You reflect credit on me. I've had more to do with bringing you up than any. I wised you up about women so you'd never be a fall guy or making a mistake you didn't want to make. Who stood you on to reading poetry first? Swinburne, for example, I did. Because I once wanted to write, I planted it in your mind that one day you'd write. Hell, you're more than my brother. I made you. You're my Frankenstein.
All right. I'm your Frankenstein. Let's have another drink.
I will, not you. We gotta take care of you. Hey, don't let the sanatorium business get you scared. Hell, you can beat that standing on your head. 6 months you'll be in the pink. You probably haven't even got consumption at all. Doctors are a lot of fakers. Told me years ago to cut out booze or I'd soon be dead, and here I am. They're all con men, anything to grab your dough. I'll bet this State Farm is a political graft game. Doctors get a cut for every patient they send.
You're the limit. At the Last Judgment, you'll be around telling everyone it's in the bag.
And I'll be right. You slip a piece of change to the judge and be saved, but if you're broke, you can go to hell. Therefore, put money in thy purse. That's the only dope. It's the secret of my success. Look what it's got me. Listen, kid, you'll be going away. I may not get another chance to talk, or I might not be drunk enough to tell you truth, so I gotta tell you now. Something I ought to told you long ago, for your own good. Not drunken bull. But in vino veritas stuff, you better take it seriously. I want to warn you against me. Mom and Pop are right. I've been a rotten bad influence, and the worst of it is I did it on purpose. Next, could you listen to me? I did it on purpose to make a bum of you. Or part of me did a big part, the part that's been dead so long that it hates life. My putting you wise so you'd learn from my mistakes. I believe that myself at times, but it's a fake. I made my mistakes look good. I made getting drunk romantic. I made whores fascinating vampires instead of the poor, stupid, diseased slobs they really are. I made fun of work a sucker's game. I never wanted you to succeed and make me look even worse by comparison. Wanted you to fail, always jealous of your mama's baby and papa's pet. And it was your being born that started Milan dope. I know it's not your fault, but on the same time, I can't help hating your guts. Only don't get the wrong idea. I love you more than I hate you. My saying what I'm saying now proves that I run the risk you'll hate me, and you're all I've got left. But I don't know why I said that last part. I didn't mean to go that far back. What I wanted to say is I'd like to see you become the greatest success in the world. But you'd better be on your guard, because I'll do my damnedest to make you fail. I can't help it. I hate myself. I gotta take revenge on everyone else, especially you. Oscar Wilde's Reading jail had the dope twisted. The man was dead, so he had to kill the thing he loved. That's what it ought to be. The dead part of me hopes you won't get well. Maybe he's even glad the game has got Mama again. He wants company. He doesn't want to be the only corpse around the house.
Shut up, Jamie. Jamie, you're crazy.
You think about it when you're away from me in the sanatorium, and you make up your mind. You've got to tie a can to me. You get me out of your life. You think of me as dead. Tell people I had a brother, but he's dead. And when you come back, you look out for me. I'll be waiting to welcome you with that my old pal stuff and give you the glad hand, and the first good chance I get, I'll stab you in the back. Only don't forget me. Remember, I warned you for your sake. Give me credit. Greater love hath no man than this, than he saveth his brother from himself. That's all. I feel better now. I've gone to confession. I know you absolved me, kid, don't you? You understand. You're a damn fine kid. Well, you ought to be. I made you. So you go on and get well. Don't die on me. You're all I've got left. God bless you, kid. Oh, that last drink is the old KO.
Thank God he's asleep. I thought he'd never stop talking. Leave him be, lad. Let him sleep it off. I heard the last part of his talk. That's what I've been warning you. I hope you will heed it, eh? Now it comes from his mouth. Don't be too downhearted, lad. He loves to exaggerate the worst in himself when he's drunk. He is devoted to you. That's the one good thing left in him. God, what a sweet spectacle for me. My firstborn. The one that I had hoped would carry my name with honor, dignity, or waste. God, a wreck, drunken hulk, over with, done, finished.
Clarence has come. False, fleeting, perjured Clarence that stabbed me in the field at Tewkesbury. Look at my face!
You fool!
My name is Might Have Been. I'm also called No More, Too Late.
Oh, I know what you're called, and I do not wish to look in that
I got
face.
a great idea for you, Papa. Why don't you put on a revival of the Bells this season? There's a great part in it you can play without makeup. Old Gasper the Miser.
Shut up, Jamie.
I claim Edwin Booth never saw the day when he could give as good a performance as a trained seal. Seals are intelligent and honest. They don't put up any bluff about the art of acting.
You're still around. Bring Mom then. Jamie, go back to sleep. You shut your mouth off enough for one night.
Your face! Your face!
Oh, my God. Mary?
The mad scene, enter Ophelia.
Oh, damn you, your own mother! You will be out in the gutter in the morning, so help me God.
Mary.
I play so badly now. I'm all out of practice. Sister Teresa will scold me dreadfully. She'll tell me it's not fair to my father when he pays so much money for extra lessons, and she's quite right, it's not fair. He's so good and kind and generous, and he's so proud of me. I'll practice every day from now on. Something horrible's happened to my hands. The fingers have gotten so stiff, the knuckles are all swollen. They're so ugly. I'll have to go to the infirmary and show them to Sister Martha. Well, she's old and cranky, but I love her anyway, and she has things in her medicine chest that'll cure anything. She'll give me something to rub in my hands and tell me to pray to the Blessed Virgin, and they'll be well again in no time.
Mama.
Well, let me see.
Mama.
What is it I came in here to find?
What is she wearing? It's a wedding gown.
Oh, my God.
The wedding gown is very lovely, isn't it? Oh, I remember. I found it in the attic, hidden in a trunk. But I don't know what I wanted it for. I'm going to be a nun. That is, if I could only find... Oh, what is it I'm looking for? Oh, it's something I lost. Can't be lost altogether, no. No, it's something I miss terribly. Something I need terribly. I remember when I had it, I was never afraid or lonely. I can't have lost it forever. I would die if I thought that, because then there'd be no hope.
Oh, it isn't in the summer cold of God, it's consumption.
No! You must not touch me. You must not try to hold me. It isn't right when I'm hoping to be a nun. I had a talk with Mother Elizabeth. Oh, she's so sweet and good. I love her dearly. It may be sinful of me, but I love her better than I love my own mother. Because she understands everything even before you say a word. Oh, no. You can't keep secrets from her. You couldn't deceive her if you were mean enough to want to. All the same, I don't think she was so understanding this time. I told her I wanted to be a nun. I explained how sure I was of my vocation and that I had prayed to the Blessed Virgin to make me sure and find me worthy. And I told her I'd had a true vision when I was praying at that shrine of Our Lady of Lourdes on the little island in the lake. And that I knew just as surely as I knew that I was kneeling there, that she'd smiled at me and blessed me with her consent. Mother said I had to be more sure than that even. I had to prove it wasn't simply my imagination. And if I was so sure, I wouldn't mind putting myself to a test by going home after I graduated and living like other girls lived, going to dances and parties and enjoying myself. And then in a year or two, if I still felt so sure, I could come back and we would talk again. I never dreamed Mother would give me such advice. I was really shocked. Of course, I told her I would do whatever she suggested, but I knew it was simply a waste of time. But after I left, I felt all mixed up, so I went back to the shrine and I prayed to the Blessed Virgin, and I found peace again because I knew she'd heard my prayer and that she would always love me and see no harm ever came to me. So long as I never lost my faith in her.
Mama.
Who? That was winter of senior year. And then in the spring, something happened to me? I remember I fell in love with James Tyrone, and I was so happy for a time.